Welcome to the first episode of Mocktails. This is a YouTube channel which is devoted to non-alcoholic beverages. Beverages that you can enjoy while you're at a party or sitting at home and you don't want to drink alcohol. Today we're going to be making Pina Colada. The way we're going to do it is not real complicated. And in fact, kind of wanted to start off pretty simple today. We're going to be using a mix. Now, the mix I'm using is Master of Mixes. I suppose you could probably find your favorite mix, whichever one your grocery carries. Just one that you maybe like or taste good. You might want to try a couple of them to see which ones you like or which ones seem to taste the best without alcohol. The instructions come with how to make it non-alcoholic. And in the instructions it tells you to essentially use the recipe that it has for the alcoholic version, only and instead you're going to substitute water where it says to use alcohol. I find that's a rather okay way to make it. I find it a little sweet for my taste. So I needed to make it a little bit more, have a little more bite to it. Let's put it that way. So the way that we're going to do it is we've got a blender. Now, hopefully you have a blender at home because I find it does taste a lot better with the blender than if you just put it over ice. Find over ice, it just tends to be a little bit too almost gooey, okay, a little bit thick and viscous. So I'd much rather go over ice. Now, the blender that I have actually has a setting for making frozen drinks. So I'm pretty lucky in that way. So we're going to start off with 2 cups of ice, just regular old crushed ice. Put that in. And then the next thing is for 6 ounces of mix. So we're going to add the 6 ounces of mix to the blender. And again, you know, more or less. You know, I tend to go a little bit more. That just tends to be the way I like it. And then, as I said, I add pineapple juice. Now, pineapple juice, as you can see, this is just store-bought from Walmart or wherever I happen to get it. And I do tend to like the unsweetened version. Again, I'm looking for a little more bite. The Pina Colada has plenty of sweetness all by itself. So I don't want more sweet. But I do want a little bit more of that tartness. So I added 6 ounces of the mix. And now I'm going to add about 2 ounces of the pineapple juice. Again, give or take a little bit. You know, if it's 3 ounces, it's not going to kill, and it's still a thing to taste. You know, if you put 3 ounces, it's not going to kill you, obviously, unless you are allergic to pineapple, in which case I'd stay away from it. I'd probably stay away from the mix too, because it's got pineapple. All right. So we've got the pineapple, we've got the mix, got the ice. So now it's time to blend. So I'm hoping through the magic of editing that you won't have to hear or listen to or watch me blend a drink. So hopefully the editing will take this out. And we're back. And so through the magic of editing, I've blended my drink. And I blended for no specific amount of time. It is with the setting, of course, on the blender, it sort of does it all by itself. But if I didn't have that, it would just be until it sounds like most of the big ice chunks have been crushed, or hopefully all of the big ice chunks have been crushed. All right, so I got my glass. Always like to have a good big glass. If I'm going to go through the trouble of making it, I might as well make it big. Of course, you could always, you know, share it with others, or if you don't drink it all, you could put it in a refrigerator. I'm not telling you anything you don't know. It's just rambling at this point. Of course, then it comes to garnish. Good pina colada should have good garnish. I don't have any little umbrellas, and it would look real silly if I had a great big umbrella, so that wouldn't work. I also don't have any maraschino cherries, so a lot of places do that. I like maraschino cherries just fine. I just don't have any on hand at the moment. But I do have some pineapple, so let me grab a couple pieces of pineapple out of here, if the pineapple would cooperate. Alright, and we just put the pineapple in, and there you have it. Non-alcoholic pina colada. It is delicious. I think you'll enjoy it. And in upcoming episodes, we'll talk more about some more complex drinks that may take a little bit more. Anyway, thank you very much for joining me, and have a great day. Bye.